I would feel such a level of comfort putting my kids on one of your school buses, knowing that there are men and women of this character.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the news stories that we really needed this year.
Finally, Henry ended up under a blue SUV. There was a man who crawled under it and actually got a hold of him.
You got him!
Number 10, Steve Carell announces free prom for fire-affected students.
Some good news for Altadena High School students impacted by the Eaton fire.
About 800 seniors at 6 high schools are going to prom for free, all thanks to some celebrity help.
Attention all seniors, this is Steve Carell. I work with a wonderful charity based out of Virginia called Alice's Kids.
We knew that Oscar and Emmy nominee Carell didn't need The Office or Despicable Me to make people smile. Not that those hurt, of course. The devastating Eaton fire wreaked nearly $30 billion of havoc in the San Gabriel Mountains of Los Angeles County, with Altadena being hit the hardest.
The news was overwhelming for the kids as they watched it live. Carell and his wife Nancy have been a part of Alice's Kids for several years. The organization specializes in helping kids in need, and they are donating about $175,000 for those tickets.
Burning for over 3 weeks in January of 2025, one unforeseen consequence was the cancellation of several high school proms owing to the damage. That was before Virginia-based charity Alice's Kids stepped in to announce that they were covering the costs for all 6 high schools in the area, and they recruited none other than the Anchorman star to deliver the message. We'd hardly call that despicable, Steve.
And for Emma, who lost her home in the wildfires, this gesture meant even more.
We were in a parking lot in Glendale at Glendale Community College, and 2 hours later my dad had driven back up and our house was gone. I'm at home and I'm like hearing my mom stress out about literally everything. And then it's like, okay mom, like you don't have to worry about prom tickets. It's a massive sigh of relief.
Number 9, major advances in sustainable food production.
A lab-grown version of Japan's famed Wagyu beef is among the exhibits at the World Expo in Osaka.
The Osaka Kansai Expo is currently underway. One exhibit showcases efforts to develop so-called cultured meat that's made by taking cells from cattle.
As part of an ongoing effort to create food that doesn't actively contribute to global pollution and waste, University of Tokyo professor Shoji Takeuchi tried going a different route. The scientist and his team devised a way to combat cell death in lab-grown meat, achieved through a process called internal perfusion.
Cultured meat offers solutions to problems such as protein shortages, while also contributing to animal welfare and environmental sustainability. The expo is a great opportunity for people to learn about this technology. I hope visitors can envision a future where we produce our own meat and control its nutritional profile.
According to The Guardian, this was accomplished by building a bioreactor that holds living cells in a gel and feeds them with oxygen and nutrients through fine, semi-permeable fibers that pass through the material. Takeuchi speculated that, if his project receives the necessary funding, it can be on the market within 5 to 10 years. Said British science journal Nature, "Winner, winner, lab-made dinner."
It is said that the taste of beef is determined by the ratio of muscle and fat fibers. By digitizing actual beef and bundling the fibers in the same way, researchers try to replicate the texture. Muscle and fat cells are cultured in the lab. These are then injected into a gel and shaped with 3D printing.
Number 8, clean energy surges to 40% of world electricity usage.
The most common sources are solar, wind, hydro, geothermal, and biomass. Over 80% of the total energy consumed by humans is derived from fossil fuels. However, renewables are the fastest growing source of energy in the world.
There is a catch. That would be the fact that, according to the BBC, carbon dioxide emissions, which warm the planet, have risen to an all-time high, with hot weather pushing up the overall demand for power. But at the same time, positive and meaningful steps are being taken to combat the growing threat of climate change.
George Tynan is a global fusion expert who has worked with several of China's top universities, as well as China's first nuclear fusion research institute.
In the last 5 years or so, there's the beginning realization that this
may not just be interesting science, but there may be a possibility that this could become an important practical technology.
An April 2025 report by global energy think tank Ember revealed that nearly half of the electricity usage on Earth was produced by clean energy sources, primarily solar generation. Said Ember's report, China registered more than half of the global increase in both solar and wind power in 2024 and is the world leader in both clean energy manufacturing and deployment.
They work very long hours. Some of the experiments in China can operate on a 24/7 basis. I've seen them running multiple shifts.
That's partly because most Chinese tokamaks use superconducting magnetic coils, which can be left on for days or even weeks at a time.
Number 7. How Metallica got a family out of harm's way.
It started, my dad used to listen to it a lot when I was younger, and then when Stranger Things, like season 4 had came out, they had Eddie playing Master of Puppets, and that was mostly when it started like a lot more for me.
Madeline wanted nothing more than to see Metallica live.
On May 7th, 2025, giants of rock Metallica played a literally life-saving show at Lane Stadium in Virginia. The night before, the Metallica-obsessed McKee family from nearby Goodview decided to enter Sandman early so they could be fully charged for the concert. This was a departure from their usual routine, in which they would stay up late and watch TV. Unbeknownst to them at the time, this choice would be the difference between life and death.
Do you want to sit up? And he was like, nah, I think I'm just going to go on to bed. And I said, okay, I'll go on to bed too. And then just a few hours later, we heard a loud explosion, glass shatter, and it was just madness from that point on.
In the early hours of May 7th, their living room was completely destroyed by a car plowing into it. Parents David and Kristen thanked God and Metallica for miraculously keeping their family, complete with daughter Maddie, together. Nice to see that opposites still attract.
We were so fortunate that that night my daughter could have walked down that hallway and found us in the rubble. And, you know, I thank God every day and Metallica for saving us, because that's exactly what did it.
After processing the damages to her home, Madeline felt compelled to reach out to the band, typing this letter.
Number 6. 91-year-old hears father's voice after 30 years.
Por ese amor que tú me das, por ser así y así nomás.
Turns out that TikTok is useful for reasons other than doom scrolling and, you know, finding new recipes. In an interview with People, TikTok user Irene Patan Rej shared that her mother discovered an old tape labeled with the name Blas Estevan while going through her grandmother, Asuncion Estevan Chico's belongings. On that tape was a recording of Asuncion's late father, whose name was indeed Blas, singing Julio Iglesias' A Flor de Piel. Said an emotional Asuncion, I felt immense joy, excitement, and the urge to cry, thinking I would never hear him again in my life. The kicker? She said that it had been 30 years since the last time she heard her father's voice.
Cuando tú ya no estás, por ese amor que tú me das, por ser así y así nomás.
Number 5. Chihuahua rescued on highway and reunited with family.
To a video that has gone totally viral. I just checked. It's been viewed more than 1 million times on Instagram alone. A little dog, you see him, he's tiny, running on the 5 freeway from downtown to nearly Mission Bay. He was dodging cars in rush hour.
In a scene that sounds like something out of a pulse-pounding action movie, a 2-year-old Chihuahua named Henry went on the lam, all the way down the northbound Interstate 5 in San Diego. It was perhaps the most stressful highway chase since O.J. Simpson's slow-speed pursuit by police. Fortunately, Henry wasn't wanted by the authorities. Having slipped away from his family, he ended up taking concerned motorists on a roughly 10-mile chase.
I know, he is very lucky. So many people saw this unfold and are just amazed that he is okay. So he was brought here to the San Diego Humane Society last night. The folks here named him Henry. He is very sweet. He's a little nervous, so I'm going to give him a little bit of space here. But he wasn't microchipped. He didn't have a collar on. However, I can tell you guys that an owner has stepped forward to claim him.
Finally, one such driver was able to get Henry on a leash and on his way to the San Diego Humane Society, where he was reunited with owner Rachel Black. We'd recommend that Henry let somebody know the next time he decides to take an impromptu stroll.
The San Diego Humane Society reminding people, you know, you should have your dog microchipped. You should have that collar with your contact information on them because unfortunately things like this can happen.
Well, we are glad that it turned out like it did. I love San Diegans, that they would stop traffic on the 5 at rush hour collectively to help this little dog.
Number 4. Dad surprises daughter with emotional Trader Joe's visit. The cold Canadian period drama, and with an E, is still beloved by fans, who mourn the CBC and Netflix show's untimely cancellation. However, one small ray of consolation is the personal vlog of Miranda McKeon, a recurring cast member who received a breast cancer diagnosis at the age of 19. Since then, McKeon has routinely vlogged about her experience with the disease, chronicling her journey in an effort to demystify what it is to live with cancer, as well as raise awareness. While the performer is no stranger to posting emotional moments, this 2025 TikTok was a downright tearjerker. Posted in February, McKeon produced possibly the single most moving piece of content ever recorded at Trader Joe's. Number 3. The reason this teacher gives her students $20.
What did you do when I gave you the $20?
I baked cookies for senior citizens.
Help distribute toiletries to the homeless.
I got a Christmas gift for a less fortunate girl in our district.
I just think that you guys are awesome. My sister Katie always wanted to do something to help people from the time she was really little.
Aspiring paramedic Kate Amade tragically lost her life in 2014 as a result of a car accident. Her savings, accumulated during her tenure in service, fell into the hands of her sister, Christina Ulmer, a teacher in Horsham, Pennsylvania, upon her passing. Ulmer found a novel, inspiring use for the money in 2018 after discussing empathy in the context of Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451 with her students.
So what did you two do with the money?
We bought a bunch of toys.
Food and treats for dogs at a shelter.
Some teachers started finding out and sharing about it, and then suddenly people were donating money to me. Since fall of 2018, I've been able to offer to my students every single semester since.
Exchanging her sister's savings for $20 bills, Ulmer has since presented her students with an annual challenge: go out and spend the $20 to spread kindness. The Great Pennsylvania Schools campaign notes that students have found creative ways to share the love, with over 350 acts of kindness performed to date.
Close to a little over $7,000 worth of acts of kindness. And I have enough donations to kind of keep it going for a couple more years.
We baked cupcakes and handed them out to teachers. The two of us have done this a total of 5 times, which is a new record.
And you say, hey, Mrs. Ulmer, can I have $20 again? I want to do this again, right?
Number 2. Ohio school bus driver performs miracle rescue.
Heart-stopping video of a near tragedy in Ohio.
This is going to be a bus vehicle on fire, unsure if it is occupied.
Showing massive flames and black smoke engulfing a Cleveland Heights school bus during its morning run to a local middle school.
It's unlikely that Dorian Pace woke up on the morning of February 27, 2025, and expected to end his day as a hero, but that's exactly what happened. Pace, who works for the Cleveland Heights University Heights City School District, heard a boom while driving students of Monticello Middle School. Said Pace, when I pulled the bus over, I actually heard another boom and I saw smoke coming from the right rear tire, and then I saw flames.
Firefighters hailing the bus's driver for acting quickly and getting everyone out safely.
It's just a blessing that the kids got out alive.
Witnesses saying they heard a loud explosion.
I saw the girl waiting for the bus. 2 to 3 minutes later, I heard a big boom.
City officials telling NBC News the fire appears to have been caused by a mechanical issue.
The 11-year-old driving veteran then promptly evacuated himself and the kids completely unharmed as the bus went up in a blaze. While he took the time to collect his flowers, Pace was back at work the very next Friday. What a pro!
Authorities say the fire sparked somewhere between the wheel well. The exact cause is still under investigation. Pace says his prayers were answered that day.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Historic malaria vaccine rollout saves young lives. There's nothing like a scientific quantum leap to fill you with hope about the future. The mosquito-borne infectious disease of malaria runs rampant in regions around the equator, such as sub-Saharan Africa. That's where, in 2023, nearly 95% of all deaths from the illness occurred, estimated at a staggering 600,000 people. As noted by the Agence France Presse, a 4-year pilot phase for the RTS, S-vaccine was tested on more than 2 million test subjects, consisting of children from Ghana, Kenya, and Malawi. Held from 2019 to 23, the experiment yielded an astonishing 13% decrease in mortality, which was formally announced by the World Health Organization in early 2025. Which news stories on our list warmed your heart the most? Be sure to let us know in the comments below.